Hello everyone, welcome back to NityaCloudtech. Hope all of you are doing good. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the most common scenario in data warehouse. For that, we are going to use for each activity and get metadata activity. So let me explain. So actually what happens generally in data warehouse, client provide say source file, a multiple source file on that specific location, and then we need to move those file into the destination. So let's say on day one, this is our source, they provide file 1, file 2, file 3, and we need to move the same into the destination. Now suppose on day 2 they have provided file 3, I can change here as well, file 4. So count will be vary day by day. It may be 3, it may be 10, it may be 50. So for that scenario, this is very common scenario. How we will achieve the same in the Azure Data Factory, we will see in this video. So what we are going to use in this, like if I talk about the activity, so we are going to use for each loop activity. So for each is basically looping through the iteration, looping through the multiple files. So this is very important. And another one, we are going to use metadata. So metadata is basically to capture the data, to capture the metadata, like what is the table name, what are the child items, what are the name of the files, what are the type of file. So all these things metadata will capture. And then we have copy file. Copy file basically it will move the file from one location to another. So we are going to use these activities as a part of this video. So let's start. So let me create pipeline. So pipeline, blank pipeline is already created. Let me rename this. So I can call this as move multiple files. Okay. So as discussed, let's first take metadata activity so that we can capture basically how many files are there. So before doing this, I want to show you my source and destination. So I have this storage container which we are going to use as a part of this video. So if I show you source, I have multiple files, customer 1, customer 2, customer 3, customer 4. And if I show you destination, it is blank. So I need to load all these files here using for each loop. So let me minimize this so that it would be visual. So I get metadata activity. Let me move into setting, and I have to choose data set, which I have already created, which is pointing basically to storage account here. Okay, so first is input. This will basically point me into that source location, and here I have to provide one argument. So they have different argument like dynamic child items, but in this case we are interested in child items. Basically we need to fetch all the child items from that source location. Okay, so let me debug this so that you will understand better. So it is debugging. It will take some time, maybe a minute. Okay, so if you see there's input, once it will debug successfully, you will see one output. Yeah, so it succeed. See input, now you can see output. If you see I have 4 files: customer 1, customer 2, customer 3, customer 4. So as I mentioned, basically metadata activity holds the metadata of the object. So here object is the folder and it is holding these all files. So it may be multiple or it may be less. Okay, let me minimize this. And now let's move into the another activity, that is for each loop. For each. Okay, now I can minimize this and map this to this bar. Now I will click here, and if you see there is one notification on setting. So I basically need to set like which item I'm taking from get metadata activity. So I will click here and I will set dynamically because it may be buried. Add dynamic get metadata, and I can say child items here. I can mention child items here. Okay, so far we are good. So basically it will help to looping through all the files. Now another and the last third activity which we are going to use to move the file, basically to copy the file. For that I need to configure this for each loop. I will click here in configuration part, and now I will take another activity under the for each loop, if you see here. So let me open this and I can copy. Again, I'm minimizing this. I will click here and go to source. I'm selecting here, so data set source, and here I need to choose this wildcard file path because I'm looping through the multiple files. And here instead of star, I need to provide the location, or I need to provide the name of file. So what I will do, I will take this for each one. So basically it is coming as an item because it is multiple, and I have shown you in the debug, if you remember, that they are name and type. So I need name here. Okay, and I can say okay here. My source is set. Now I need to do configuration in destination. So I will select DS destination and click on open here. So destination, yeah. Now my all the files should be moved here. So we don't need to do anything. All the file will be automatically copied here because we have already done configuration in for each loop. Okay, let me publish this. So it is publishing. So we have this get metadata activity, and after that for each, and under that we have copy activity, which will basically move item one by one. So let me, I think it's published, or yeah, it's published. So let me validate. So validation successfully. Now let me trigger this now. Trigger now. So it's running. It will take some time. Yeah, it got succeed. Now let me move here and I will show you. So there was no file here. If I refresh this, see, all the files are moved here. So I hope this video will be helpful for you. I will come up with another scenario in the next video. Thank you everyone.